you about my hometown. It's a year-round land of vacation. And nearby, on the lakes, the Chautauqua Institution. Jamestown, Jamestown, New York. That's my hometown. Jamestown, New York. That's my hometown.
Philadelphia has been the home of many champions. But none of them possess the mystique of the 1960 Eagles.
This 1960 team developed that intangible, whatever it is. Some people called it spirit, some people called it camaraderie. It was just a strange, unique group of guys that suddenly decided that the most important thing in the world to them was to win a championship.
The Philadelphia game, 1960. Is that a game that got away from you?
Got away from Vince.
Yeah.
See, we were, you know, we were all young.
This is really your first, this is the first championship game?
First championship game. Here we are in Philadelphia. We're playing a championship game after only 2 years. Hell, we have a group of people, I guess the oldest, I guess I'm the oldest on the team, going in to play for the World Championship. And he came there in 59, and here we are 60, we're playing for the championship. And I guess it was disbelief, somewhat. We were trying to pinch ourselves to realize, yes, we were there. And maybe we were more thinking about where we were instead of what we were playing for. But we learned after that game, because after the game, he says, we will never lose another one. And you had to know that he meant it.
Yeah. It was an exceedingly close game.
Oh yeah, it was 10-7 or 13-6.
17-13, yeah.
17-13, something like that. Yeah. I remember, because I see Chuck Benerick, who played on that team at the time. He only lived a couple miles from me, so I was going to have to live with him. It's part of life.
Well, you can show a few more rings than he can.
Well, yes, but I'll tell you, Chuck was a hell of one, because you know he's in the Hall of Fame too. He was playing in a, you know, at that time I didn't think about it, but he was 36, I was 26. I mean, that's a lot of years.
Van Brocklin was the
Dutch, yeah.
Yeah,
he was a great quarterback though. I mean, we talk about all the quarterbacks in National Football League. And Dutch was unusual because he would do what the hell he wanted to do, and he didn't care what anybody else cared. He did what his abilities allowed him to do.
You know, it's interesting, in a time period, Bobby Lane would have probably fit that same category.
All the quarterbacks, Wyatt Tittle.
Yeah.
You know, Wyatt Tittle is of the same mold. Bobby Lane, you know, they're all those rebel-type quarterbacks that's going to go out and look at you and beat you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Knew they could beat you if they just get a few of the hits.
Some time one day with Jim Ringo, who was up at Finley Lake, and he was the captain of the Green Bay Packers. He was of the opinion, even 40 years after the fact, that they had the better team. What did you have a sense, even on the field, that though you won the game, that they were kind of what kind of quality team they were?
Oh no, they were a quality team, but we had a better quarterback. We had at least as good backs, running backs. And naturally, we had better offensive left tackles, which is the prime position on the field, you know. The only thing was, I was making $8,000 a year, and now they're making $8 million.
Well, talk about, you know, as for being on the left side of the tackle, that's the blind side for Norm Van Brocklin. You must have felt a little more pressure there than J.D. Smith did on the right side, didn't you?
Well, if he got hit, I was ready to run off the field in most cases, you know.
Yeah.
But nobody ever really got through and got to him. Thank God. I would always, if I was going down, I'd always leg whip him, you know, that's what. Knock their feet out from under the...
Because of you, they've eliminated you.
Possibly.
Coached by Buck Shaw, the Eagles were led by quarterback Norm Van Brocklin, number 11. It was the Dutchman's imagination and kick-in-the-butt tirades that turned this group of losers into winners.
As cutting as he could be, he was a lot like all of our fathers probably should have been. Even some of the linemen that wanted to punch his lights out because of what he would say in the offensive huddle. By the end of the evening, after the game was over, they'd say, "Hey, Dutch, great job."
Van Brocklin's got it. Van Brocklin's going to throw. He throws into the corner. Oh, touchdown!
One time, they were going to send me out, and Dutch stepped back and said to Shaw, "Get him out of here." Well, my feelings were hurt at the time, but we did win the game.
Van was, he was a tough guy. He was a perfect, as far as I was concerned, the perfect quarterback, and he had complete control. And if you messed up, you could get beat physically. That was okay. But if you messed up mentally, you're gone. Get off the field. He doesn't want anything to do with you.
There were 39 of us, and we really had no what you'd call really a big star except Norm Van Brocklin. Without old number 11, I don't know what Tommy McDonald could have ever have been.
With Van Brocklin, the Eagles won 10 games and lost only 2. Victory never came easily.
Caught in the air by Jimmy Carr.
And it was even harder to win respect.
Each day when the game would be over, we'd meet the opponents in the middle of the field, and they'd say, "We wish the hell we could play you again." And we'd say, "Well, we'd like to, but we're too busy. We were on our way to the championship."
This trip produced many jarring collisions, but none matched the hit that 35-year-old Chuck Bednarik put on the Giants' Frank Gifford. The impact preserved an important victory and propelled the Eagles into the NFL championship.
What one game would stand out the 14 years that I played? I say December 26, 1960, the Green Bay Packer game. That one game of all the 280 games that I played will stick out in my mind forever.
Protecting a 17-13 lead, Chuck Bednarik's tackle on the game's final play became one of the greatest moments in the history of Philadelphia sports.
67,000 people standing. What an electrifying finish to a great season and a great game. Stars up over the ball. This'll be it. Stars back to throw. He takes time. He throws over the middle. It's caught at the 15. Running hard to the 7-yard line and down on the 7.
I could see the clock going 11 and 10, and he's squirming and kind of, we're stalling for time. It was 2 and 1, and I looked down at him and told him, "You can get up now, you blankety blank. This game is over."
The game's over. The game's over. The Eagles are the champions of the world.
Since the train comes from behind the right.
I love this film. We always win.
Packers in one of the hardest fought contests ever witnessed.
We got 4,000.
4,000?
That's what we got.
In a ring?
And a ring, yeah. Well, everybody wanted the ring. The whole key to everything is the ring. As I've told you before, some guys were getting pendants for their wives and stuff like that, and I said, "Why would you want a pendant for your wife? What if you got divorced?" Did you hear that, maybe? There goes the pendant. You know what I mean? Tell you people, I've got more notoriety in the last month than anybody could even ask for, especially the mayor or somebody like that, and they would love to have all the paper I've had and all the press I've had. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Yeah.